What's going on, everybody? How's it going? This is Dylan, and this is Leslie, and this is the live stream that we do on Thursday nights. Q&A stuff. What I want to do right away is get in the comments right away as soon as you start this, whether you're watching it in replay or not, and tell me what is your next guitar. Like, let me know what you want to buy next. Whether that's I'm saving up and it's going to take me 10 years, or I'm going to like go to Guitar Center or Sweetwater or something tomorrow and buy a guitar. Just right away, put that in the comments. I want to know. I'm just curious. It's and we'll talk a little bit later about that, but get that started right now. Yeah, because that's what the thumbnail is. What's your next guitar going to be? I think it's important. So the other thing I want to know. Oh, also, I'm going to probably make a post in the Facebook group this week for people to submit their next rig roast entries.
Oh, that's been a while.
Yeah, because we haven't done that in a while.
When was the last time?
It's been a while. So I want to do that. So I will make the post probably tomorrow. So, or maybe tonight. So if you go over to facebook.com/groups/Dylan Talks Tone or whatever, anyway, you know where to find it. Anyway, yeah. The other thing is it would be amazing. I don't know if you guys have heard or not, because I've been talking about it nonstop for the last 2 weeks, that I was going to start and have started a podcast. And we have 3 episodes up on the YouTube channel, on its own YouTube channel, because it really did screw with everything. And it kind of annoyed some people because it wasn't the normal content. So I'm like, all right, one of you viewers actually commented, why don't you just put this on its own YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So we did. I don't have a custom URL for it yet because it needs to grow some more before I can get that. So get in the comments, and the very top of the description of this video is this weird looking link. It's a YouTube with a bunch of letters after it. That is where you can go to subscribe to that channel. The interview that I did today is coming out on Tuesday. And it is an interview that I have been trying to get for probably 5 years. This is somebody that I absolutely respect and love what they do. It is the only boutique pickup that I've ever bought and put in one of my guitars besides my own. And it is Tim McNelly from McNelly Pickups. He's in Canada. He builds for all kinds of people, all kinds of boutique brands, Yamaha, like big brands too. He's real good and he's really cool, and we had a great time. So that episode comes out Tuesday. I hope you definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel and or to the like listening podcasts on any of the podcast stations. Spotify, Apple, whatever. Dude, so fun. That dude is so cool. And then I've got a bunch of other cool stuff scheduled too. So anyway, that's the housekeeping that I wanted to do before we got going on all the other stuff. So yeah.
So you want to hear what these people are saying?
Yeah. What do we got?
A lot.
Nice.
So Van Shank Guitars, NEPRS.
Right on.
Thomas Torville said I ordered 3 guitars this week.
Dang.
Tales of the Tapes. A hollow, semi-hollow, because I haven't gotten one of those. BC Rich 581. Kirk Douglas Sig SG Ebony 3 pickup with a coil split. Fat Philosopher, I bought 2 guitars on impulse this week. Albert Siva, I just pre-ordered the Fender 60th anniversary Jaguar in metallic Lake Placid blue. I actually got a deal from a musician's friend plus future store credit.
Sweet.
Gretsch Zeppelin, a jazz master. Jeffrey Egan, that Reverend Greg, maybe Coke. Telly with the Gristle
It's actually
90s.
Coke.
It says kick there though.
It's
90s
Koch.
and Bigsby really has me jonesing.
Dude, I played that guitar at NAMM, and that thing is good. The only downside to it is it's huge because it's like bigger because it's a Greg Koch model, and it's so good, man. That thing is really good guitar.
Chucky Whiskers, definitely getting a G&L ASAT special. I love my Schecter Silver Mountain 8-string multi-scale in toxic base color, but I started playing with a country western band and it looks a little odd.
So that's like one of those multi-scale slanty fret things, probably like super metal looking, and he's playing in a country band with it. That's pretty awesome.
Driddle, the guitar I started building at Texas Toast.
Oh yeah.
Vinny's World. Next one, hey Dylan, next one will probably be a custom shop instrument. Finding a builder now.
Dang.
Fat Philosopher says Ibanez S Series JIBA maybe or Acoustasonic. Chuck C. My next guitar is a 61 Epiphone SG that FedEx currently misplaced. It was supposed to come yesterday. I'm also waiting on the Epiphone Alex Lifeson that I ordered back in June.
Oh, sweet. With the Floyd Rose Les Paul. Heck yeah.
Royal Reaper, Ibanez Jim. Let's see. Chuck C. My next purchase will probably be a fretless bass. John B. I'm looking at a Telly or the new Revstar Standard with P90s.
We just talked about that in the news yesterday. That is a really cool guitar. That is a really cool guitar. I need to see about getting one of those because I am very curious about that guitar. The way it's chambered and the way it's made is very, very interesting. It's not a normal hollow body. I really, really dig it. No, this is a really cool. I was just curious, and I'm very cool about. I'm very interested in this, because, you know, obviously stuff's getting more expensive, but at the same time, it's not going to stop us from playing guitar. And I know some of you are probably going to shop for used stuff. Doesn't matter. I just think it's cool when you're always kind of thinking about the next thing to be inspired, and that makes me very happy. Like, just to think about everybody still trying to be inspired by the instrument and not, you know, bogged down in techie stuff. Tim and I talked about that a little bit today.
You want to finish the list?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because there's still a bunch. Brian Smith. I have a Yamaha Revstar Standard RSS02T on order from Sweetwater. Fat Philosopher, one of the ones he got was an ESP Viper Gold Metallic Lefty.
Ooh.
Jeffrey Egan waiting on my Texas Toast Challenger Junior. And Fat Philosopher also got a Japanese Les Paul copy.
Cool.
Boomster Black just said a green one.
He just wants a green guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert, I mean, Fender just came out with that Player Series in the lime green. That's pretty killer. It ain't gonna be expensive either.
Robert Hastings, my next project is a 2009 Gibson LP Studio. I'll play mostly 60s and 70s rock. I'm thinking Center Punch and want your suggestions for the other. By the way, my DAFs are great.
2 center punches. Just get both. That's what I would do.
Ed DePriest working up an order at Texas Toast Guitars and about to buy a resonator for my Slide Jones.
Cool.
Jim Woodard, Gibson R9 from the co-guitarist of my current band. Bill H. Eastwood Classic 6 HB-TL. Looks like a Pelham Blue Trini Lopez.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool.
Roy Werner. I am waiting for 2 Diamond Series Schecters, a Hellraiser TPB Hardtail, and an Apocalypse Blue Rain. Alan Pettibone. My next guitar just arrived last night. Revolta Mondo Mondata. So stoked.
Ooh, wow. Very cool.
Let's just make sure. I just want to scroll to the end.
They'll probably
Spokes
keep
28 was wanting an Epiphone SG, but they are all made in China. Can't do that. That is a random fact we will save for later. These are funny. Um,
People being funny in the comments now. No, this is awesome.
all right, wait.
We
Two
got
more.
two more.
New gun guy, and then I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
Y'all can keep sending them. He can see them later. New gun guy. Alhambra 5 PCT or a Puerto Rican Quattro? I don't know.
Huh. I've
Never
not heard of that.
Jeffrey Egan, I'm building a parts caster Strat. Made it green because I didn't have a green guitar.
No, that's
Danny
awesome.
Sabino wants a project guitar he can put Dylan pickups in.
Heck yeah, man.
That
That's
sweet.
very cool. That's awesome. I just like to hear this from time to time. It's kind of like this is like pre-rig roast. You know what I mean? This is like,
I love that it was also different.
yeah, exactly. And I also wasn't. There's a question that came up today in today's questions that we're about to get to that made me think about, are people changing what they're buying? But I mean, there's a lot of variety there, man. There's a lot of variety, and it goes to show the variety and taste of music and taste of instruments that watch the channel, and I like to hear that. That's why I like doing the rig roast things too, because you know, we all nerd about this stuff, but when it really comes down to it, we're all just playing music, and it's all different kinds. Everybody's playing something different, and it just really, I love to hear about that. I think that's very cool.
We didn't
even do our intro music or nothing, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and jam through some of these questions that came in through Patreon this week.
Okay.
What I do is I make a post, usually on Wednesdays or Thursday morning, and these get bumped to the top. You can get in the comments, put a bunch of question marks next to your question.
That's what Shane got.
Oh, that's sick.
He was like, I sent him to your Instagram.
Nice. So those you can ask questions in the chat right now. If you use a super chat, you get bumped to the top. Sometimes we're so busy that that's necessary. Other times, Leslie will try to get those out of there, but we always prioritize the ones that came in from Patreon. So, and YouTube members. So let's get going. You can read these, mostly because I have to go to the eye doctor next Wednesday.
Charles says, thanks for all you do. Really enjoy the videos. I have to run by Dad's. Wait, is this to finish up his backhoe? We'll tune in as soon as I can. Thanks again for hanging out with us every week. I think he's here too. I feel like
good.
he said hello.
Good. Thanks, Charles.
Shane, there is a rumor around that ESP is going to buy Dean guitars and reform it like they did to Schecter in the late 80s. As a guy who owns a Dean, a Schecter, and 2 ESP Limiteds, I'm super stoked. Would this be a good move, even if it's nothing more than a rumor?
I don't know, because I've not heard that rumor. ESP is big. They're a lot bigger than people realize. And they have... I have not heard that Dean is for sale. I just talked to a person who knows a thing the other day about something with Dean, and they did not say anything about that. So I don't know. Of course, they wouldn't just publicize that anyways, but I'm not sure. I don't know what it would mean for the brands for sure, but I just know that ESP is massive. They're way bigger than a lot of people realize because they encompass a lot more companies. It could be good or bad. I'm not sure. That's one you'd have to wait out the rumor, I think, to see what's up.
Dylan and Leslie, thanks for all you do. This is from David. Dylan and Leslie, thanks for all you do for your channel. When you buy a new combo amp or cabinet, do you do anything to break in the speakers? Thanks.
This is Dastardly Dave, actually. I do not. I know some people think you're supposed to. I do know that they do change a little bit over time as they break in. But I think this largely, I think 85 to 90% of this question is carryover application from the hi-fi world. And I do it with my hi-fi speakers. And I break them in very specifically. And some people even say that that's not necessary, but I do it anyways, um, just in case. But that's for a lot more accuracy and precision than some dumb tube amp with a 12-inch speaker. Like this is one of those things where guitars are not, they're not a hi-fi device. They are like, if this is a smartphone, a guitar is like Alexander Graham Bell, like literally the dumbest phone ever. So I don't think you really need to worry about it. And I know that there are going to be people that disagree with that, but yeah, okay, it's going to change a tiny little bit over the first, I don't know, 50 hours or something, but it doesn't matter. In my opinion, that's just an opinion though,
Are you
which
done?
accounts for nothing, probably.
Driving me?
Yeah.
Matt, not trying to get political, but current events are especially relevant to the guitar industry. With Russia controlling a large chunk of nickel, cobalt, and other materials used to make guitar parts, plus a number of tubes are manufactured there, how do you foresee the guitar industry changing, if at all, other than price increases and parts material shortages?
This is going to be a big deal. Um, I don't, you're right. We don't get political on this channel, so I don't want to get into, and don't get all nuts in the comments either. We will delete them. But on the human side of it, here we are trying to play guitar and order amps and parts and stuff, trying to get stuff. It does make you wonder, and I think it is going to affect some things. A guy my size, I don't know that it's going to affect like how many magnets I can get for pickups, because we don't order like, I mean, we order like 5,000 at a time, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's literally like a bag like this big. That's like not that much. So for magnets, I think the biggest effect could be tubes. Not just because of what's going on right now in Eastern Europe, but over the last year, I was just talking to, if you listen to the Tone Mob podcast, to our podcast with Blake from the Tone Mob podcast, we were talking about some other, it's not just there where all that stuff comes from, but it's where the glass comes from for the tubes and where they actually make the tubes, which is in Russia. And the other plant, there's really only two companies that do it anymore. There's one in Russia and one in China. And so I have been saying this for like 5 years, that y'all better start looking at modeling amps way more seriously, not because they're better, not because, but out of necessity, because of power consumption and because of scarcity of tubes. And I think it's going to get to a point. I really do believe this. Has nothing actually to do with what's going on in the Ukraine right now. Just in general, where we are in the stream of time, I really believe that there is going to come a point in the next probably 10 years that you're going to have a tube amp and it's going to be like your Sunday amp. Like you're going to like only play it on your birthday and stuff. You know, like it's going to be a collector's item that you're going to use just for that. And you're going to be using you know, like this Line 6 Catalyst is fantastic. Wait till the video comes out. It's so good for $400. And so that's the thing. I think we are going to migrate that direction, and we already are migrating that direction. And I think events like this are going to accelerate that process. I know that there's going to be a lot of, we're going to have tubes forever. You're literally looking through rose-colored glasses. Tubes are going away. And so we're going to have to figure out a way to get better about open minds about other technologies, because the technology is getting so good that it doesn't matter if you have an open mind or not, because it's just good. So, you know, and they're going to continue to do that too. I think there's going to be a crossing point where it's going to be like anybody right now who owns any early 60s pre-CBS Fender. They have it. They love it. But they're not going to gig it at an open mic on Friday, right? That's the special guitar. And then they've got these other ones that are $800 that they take out and they jam with. So I think tube amps are going to go that direction. As far as parts shortages, yes, I worry about it every day. I'm having parts shortages right now that are concerning me. So I hope it's okay. The end.
The end.
Yep.
Well, that was all those comments.
That was
What's
all
your
those
topic
comments.
today?
This whole new guitar thing.
Oh.
One of the reasons I brought it up actually is because of this whole amp thing. This amp right here. Oh, and if anybody wants a Boss Katana 50, I'm gonna sell it because I'm only using it for like 2 more videos and then I'm done with it. It's gonna have like it's literally gonna have like a total of 3 hours on it, and it has.
I'm trying to log you in.
I know I don't want to do it right now. It literally has like a couple hours on it, and it has all the original packaging and labeling and everything. So let me know if you're interested. But I was thinking about these amps and wanting to hear what everybody was playing and what they were adding to their collection, because it's like the way most of us play and the way like it doesn't demand a lot of our play. And I'm not talking about ability. I'm not talking about you're not good enough to know the difference between blah, 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 blah. I don't mean that. I would never assume that of anyone, because everybody hears everything different and we all know different stuff. But I think when you really look at the technology that's in a guitar, which is none, it's literally a piece of wood with strings on it. And then what you ask of that very simple device to get sound out of it with an amplifier, I think a lot of the gear that we use does not deserve the criticism that it gets, because this stuff is so simple. So simple. And that's what I really like about this Line 6 Catalyst, because you can just play it like an amp. It's like, yeah, it's a modeling amp, and you could get completely lost in buttons and menus and stuff if you wanted to. But for those that don't, you just turn it on and you just play it. And it takes away that whole like get the modeling amp away from me kind of vibe. Especially when you're playing an open mic on Friday, especially when you're recording, when you're doing anything other than standing on a stage at Madison Square Garden with a stack of amps behind you, which none of us can really do. So it's an interesting thing. The one other thing I wanted to mention, and I need to leave the link, but I can't ever get onto my own channel. Oh, here it is. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I am going to leave a link. Can I do this right now? I probably can't. Okay, I'll do it afterwards. What's his name? That came to. Is he here tonight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's his name?
Aaron Lanterman.
Aaron Lanterman. Let's take the super chat first.
Whoop. Just kidding. They're messaging me too fast. Does this work now?
Over there, yeah.
Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thank you for the super chat. I had a question earlier this week, but for the life of me, I can't remember.
Thanks, Van Shank Guitars.
Well,
I
if you
appreciate
remember
that,
while we're on, I will be looking for you. That is funny.
Yes.
I actually saw him make that comment earlier, so.
Thanks, dude. And thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. I want to talk about Aaron Lanterman. So Aaron Lanterman is a professor at Georgia Tech. And he teaches a class about electronics and guitar stuff, actually. Well, I don't know if it's specifically about guitar, but he teaches this stuff. And on like the physics side, some of the formulas and stuff that I saw today, and he's like drawing them so fast, I don't even know. Anyway, he emailed me earlier today and he made a video, and it was talking about.
Aaron is in the house.
Awesome. He was talking about sound in the electric, because remember last week in our live stream we talked about how we hear versus what we feel, and he really dove into that, and he used a Rhett Shull video about a resonant guitar, etc., and then got into all the physics of it, and it was really well done. It's fun because it's one of those YouTube videos where it's like just a bunch of like pictures put together, but it's really cool, and it's like 12 minutes long. I will link it in the comments of this video when we're done, because I'll put it in a pinned comment, because it's really good. It's really good, and he has a channel, and he has like 6,000 subscribers. So I think we should add to that.
Well, while we're
'Cause
talking
he's really
about him,
good.
let's finish talking about him. So
Okay.
he's also left a few comments. If this is Aaron Lanterman, if anyone is in the Atlanta area, you should go to the Guthman Musical Instrument Competition on Saturday.
Wait, what?
And then, oh, hang on, there was something before that one.
Let's go to Atlanta Saturday.
Okay. And then he says, you know how a group of crows is called a murder and a group of geese is called a gaggle? My wife decided a group of acoustics is called a strum and a group of electrics is called a squeal.
Oh my God.
And then he said, I asked my wife what the group of acoustic and electric guitars in our house should be called, and she said absurdity.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I think we got a super chat or two in there.
All right. Where am I? I don't want to skip anybody. Nope. Okay.
I think it's the two bottom ones.
All right. Super chat from Paul McNary. I love when he puts the emphasis on how it should be read. He says, super heavy sarcasm alert. Money to go to the post office tomorrow.
There's a story behind that.
Okay.
It's a very complicated story. So let's handle this other super chat first. And then I'm going to tell the Paul McNary story.
Uh-oh.
It's so dumb.
Oh, I don't know what I did.
You didn't do anything.
Oh. Okay.
There you go. We're going to handle the Paul McNary. We're going to do this out of order.
We're going to handle Paul McNary.
We are. Yes.
All right. Super chat from, it went up again. John09 can't play any Roddy. He got another
9.
one.
It was 9 last week, I thought.
But it was 8.
Was it?
Maybe it was 9. I don't know.
It was 9.
I don't know. Hope your wife isn't listening if it didn't change or did change.
Or I hope she's awesome like mine.
Thanks for the super chat. Hi, folks. Better learn to play another song before I buy another guitar. Can you download tones from a tone library with the Catalyst?
I don't know about that, and I don't think so. When the video comes out, you'll see what the USB does, but it's really cool, but it's very simple. It's not like it's not overly like option paralysis complicated, and that's what I like about it. I'm kind of glad it doesn't do all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Okay, Paul McNary story.
Yes.
So 2 weeks ago.
We're going to put his chat back up there since that's what we're talking about.
2 weeks ago, I got 2 orders for humbuckers.
Mm-hmm.
One with, both black bobbin, one with nickel covers and one with black bobbins. Then the guy emailed me. It was 2 sets of black bobbin humbuckers. And then the guy emailed me and said, actually, can you put nickel covers on it? And I said, yeah, no problem. I'll do it. I haven't even made them yet. So then I forgot about it. And at the same time that I actually shipped those pickups out as black bobbins. As I'm making Paul's pickups, I scratched the bobbin. So I couldn't send those to him because they have a scratch on the top. But I could use them as nickel humbuckers because I could put the cover on it because nobody will ever see it because it's underneath. But I'd already sent out the wrong pickups to this guy. So he sent them back. So I put covers on those ones and sent them back out to him. And then, anyway, got everything mixed up, unmixed up. This hardly ever happens, but every once in a while, like once a year, I'll do this where I'll send the wrong pickups to somebody and have to have them sent back and all this. So this happens like every once in a while. So it happened. So I printed the label knowing that we were going to go to the post office and pick up the wrong pickups, and I'm going to send them out to Paul because those are the ones he wants. I put it in the car, and then we left for the weekend. And then those pickups came back, and those are the ones I'm going to send to him, and they're still in the trunk of the car. So he emails me today, hey, how come I just want to make sure that this didn't get lost in the mail or something. And I'm like, no, it's actually lost in the trunk of my car. I apologize for that. It's going to the post office tomorrow. So that's what this whole thing about. Here's $5 for gas money to go to the post office tomorrow. It might cost $5 to go to the post office tomorrow, actually. Not really. With my new Honda, between here and the post office, the engine only turns on like once. So kind of cool, actually. So yeah. What are you reading about?
Going to this musical competition.
What is this musical competition in Atlanta on Saturday?
A big deal, I think. And Rick Beato is one of the judges.
Oh, we gotta go. I want to meet him.
I don't know that means you can meet him, but
I mean, I'll meet him. I'll find him. Actually, I'll just text Rhett and say, where are you at? And then...
What does Rhett have to do with it?
Because Rhett and Rick run around all the time doing stuff.
He's a judge. You can't have somebody with him.
Oh, well, that's true, I suppose. I'm interested.
Yeah. Anyway, and there's like a show, a fair from 4 to 7, and the show starts at 7. Saturday and my night. Next question was like, where do we park? But it's covered when you go to buy tickets, so I don't need to know all of that. But definitely take a car.
Where is it located?
Georgia Tech.
Oh,
campus.
So, yeah, so no park in the van.
Yeah, it's a deck that they...
Gotcha. Well, cool. Yeah, awesome. Do we got any questions coming in? Or have we even reached that subject tonight? I have a few
questions, but let me just scroll back up and make sure I didn't miss anything else while we were chatting about post office sarcasm.
Post office sarcasm. I felt really bad because I don't typically do that. I have a pretty good system here for not mixing stuff up, and every once in a while, I think what it was is that person, not to blame the customer, obviously, but I should have caught it. But I just like looked at the order and forgot that he manually changed something. And I had a note right here and completely missed it. Anyway.
So Aaron, if we come to Atlanta on Saturday, will we meet you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. Sean Joint. That's so interesting.
That's an interesting spelling of that.
I
name.
like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Could you do a single strip pole piece pickup instead of separate pole pieces?
Yeah, like a bar magnet, like a Firebird sort of. Yeah, you could, and we do, and we could make. Well, we make a humbucker that way. Well, no, it isn't actually like that. Well, it's a version of it. It's a bar instead of separate pole pieces, but there's still a magnet underneath. But you can, like a Firebird pickup actually has the magnet in the bobbin. A lipstick pickup for a Dan Electro has the magnet inside the bobbin, and it's one long one instead of separate pole pieces. So yeah, totally do it. Yep.
The Guitar Hangout says, Dylan and Leslie, now that you have a guitar, you can quick change pickups. Can you do a test on if a pickup cover makes that much of a difference?
I have a few tests that I'm working on. I have a few. I'll tell you what they are. So if you help me think of any other ones, I want to do a cover and no cover, and probably in concert with that. Well, it'll probably be separate videos, but cover and no cover for sure. Also, I want to do unpotted versus potted and talk about a microphonic pickup and what causes feedback, because that was that has been a question since we've been talking about acoustic versus electric guitars and semi-hollows and stuff. So we're going to be able to do, we'll be able to put an unpotted humbucker in that guitar and then take it out really quick and pot it and then put it back in the same video. So that'll be super cool. Then the other video I want to do is how much difference does putting a neck pickup in a guitar make to sustain and stuff. Now I know that Jim Lil just did that video where he did that, but to be able to literally do it like instantly will be a very cool thing. That guitar is the only thing that can really do. I actually am using it in the Catalyst demo because I can put a passive humbucker and immediately switch to an EMG for the high gain stuff with this amp. Mm-hmm. So I was working on that today, which is that guitar is so cool. I've been using it for a bunch of little test stuff like that. Yeah, so you will see it. If you come up with other like random things that, hey, this could only be done if we can like swap a pickup out really fast, let me know, because that's what it's for and I want to use it. So yeah, let me know.
Jorge Reza. Hello, Dylan. Finally finished working on my paranormal telly. Put in flat 6 pickups, something bridge, Babbitt's.
Oh, Babbitt's bridge?
Babbitt's bridge, and a freeway 6-position selector. For some reason, the selector stopped working after the pickup and bridge.
I don't know. I have 0. I can't say 0 because this Somnium has a 6-way freeway in it. But I have 0 experience with wiring one of those. I've never done it. So I don't know what the wiring scheme looks like. I don't know what this, maybe I should buy one. And we should use it in something just so we can figure it out. We can do a video and talk about, maybe I'll buy 2 of them and we'll bust one up and see what's inside. And then we'll use the other one in, you know, a control circuit and do some fun stuff with it. Because I've never dove into that at all. I have no idea how they're wired, what the schematic is, none of that stuff. Never messed with it.
Mark Hott, do you think the NMME show, I don't know what that is, will be bigger this year? Will you be going?
Oh, the NAMM show.
NMME?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he means.
If you don't, tell us.
Yeah, if you don't, tell us.
I don't. It's not this year. Oh, it is this year.
It is this year. It's in June.
Yes.
I hope so, man. I mean, I'm driving all the way to California for it, so it better be good. We'll be over halfway there already because we're going to be at Texas Toast for May. But yeah, I hope so. Everybody, you know.
Even if California is like half as big as it normally is, it'll still be big.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that is exhausting.
You know, there's a lot of negative energy around the music gear business right now. Now it's not in the business. So this is a funny thing. It's not in reality, but like in comment sections of videos and in Facebook groups, there's a lot of negative energy around like, I bet Fender is going to fail because they're charging too much for guitars. This person raised their prices. They're going to go out of business. They're talking all this crap. It's not true. People are going to be fine and they're going to sell lots of guitars and they're still selling more guitars than they can make. And everything is on back order and we can't get enough guitars. Like guitar is better than it's ever been. And there's a lot of negative energy surrounding the NAMM show. Like nobody needs to go to the NAMM show anymore. We just have the internet now. NAMM show sucks. There's no reason to go. And while I think that the use case and the need to go to the NAMM show is different now than it used to be, I don't think it's totally unnecessary. And I think that I have a hope that it does bounce back and become a version, even if it's different than it used to be, of what it once was. I think that it's gonna morph more to what the CES show does, where part of it is part of it is online, part of it is in person, and there's differing experiences for stuff. And I hope it grows back. I really do. For the sake of this industry, I hope it grows back. I really do. Yep. Even though I'm never gonna like do it again, you know. Yeah. We got some more questions over here.
Mm-hmm.
How much abuse can pots take from somebody learning to solder? That depends on the pot. Bourne's pots can take a lot because there's no guts hooked to the back of the pot. It's just a tin can that pinches onto the rest of the pot. CTS pots, on the other hand, have a shaft and a bearing, like a little ball thing, that rides in there, and you can melt that if you overheat the pot. So it depends on the pot. Alphas, same thing, no big deal.
Boomster Black wants to know, do you make pickups?
I do. DylanTalksTone.com. They're all over that website. Everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Sean McMillan, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Sean.
Any word on the caps for my P90s? Also, did you see the Elsie Binks video on the Facebook page with the, I don't know what that word is, Aristide guitar?
Yeah, he didn't know how to spell it either. Two things. Your capacitors, I think, came in today. So I'll be building that circuit tomorrow or Monday. Probably tomorrow afternoon, actually. And then what was the other thing? And yes, I did see the video, but I did not log it to memory, if that makes sense. I hate to say that, but I didn't. So I should probably go back and watch it again for sake of conversation. But I didn't watch it. I mean, I did watch it, but I didn't remember it.
Sunter Ace 234. Hey Dylan, what is that guitar in the background? The one next to the bass.
That's the Somnium guitar that has interchangeable pickups. We just did a video about it 2 weeks ago, week ago, something like that. Full on video on the channel. You can watch it. It's pretty cool.
Fat Philosopher, what state in America would you say has the best environment to make guitars? Humidity levels, access to materials, etc. Is there an ideal state? I mean, we're always looking for the ideal state for other various reasons.
I don't know. Where John Cruz is in Tennessee is pretty awesome. That place is pretty cool. I would say, and where Brian Nutter is in Tennessee is pretty cool. And it's relatively central. I know that Northern California and Oregon have a lot of good builders. Breedlove's in Oregon. So my two first things would be Oregon, Colorado, and Tennessee. That's where I would go. For differing reasons, but.
So Jorge is the one who asked about that 6-way switch, and he said just the second position stopped working.
Oh.
Or just two positions. I'm not sure if he means the second positions or two positions, but.
Okay, so here's the thing with that switch. I do know this. So if I have, the Somnium guitar has it, and if I put two pickups in that guitar, and I think he said he had a Telly. If I put two pickups in that guitar, the way they have it wired is position 1 is a pickup, and position 2 is a pickup, and position 3 is a pickup. But when you like kick it over into low range, then some of the stuff doesn't work. So I don't know how you have it wired. That's why I need to get one. I guess I just need to learn about it because I don't know. I mean, I have one in this guitar, but I don't know enough about it. And this guitar is wired so uniquely to do all this pickup swapping stuff that it's probably not a good example. So I probably should get one and learn it. I honestly, and I apologize for saying that, but I don't know. I need to learn.
Dominic LaRocca. Dylan, why do some DiMarzios have a brass backplate? Always curious about that.
Because they designed around it. So with a brass backplate, sometimes you can screw around with the resonant peak of the pickup because of eddy currents, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of science that goes into this, and you can get super nerdy about it. But basically, you can use any parts you want to build a pickup if you design around them and still end up with the same sound that you wanted in the end. And that's what DiMarzio has done. Some people think it's a cost-cutting measure just to be cheaper because they are cheaper. But honestly, it doesn't really matter if it works. So, yeah.
Rick Bonneville. Hey, Dylan and
Hey,
Leslie.
Rick.
Thinking of upgrading a Washburn X30. Pickups are not the best. What would you recommend?
I don't know what it is. Hang on. I'm Googling. Rick actually sent me a message the other night and said that he had a bunch of other leathers and stuff because he's still playing around with making more guitar straps and stuff. Like double layer, double two colors, like kind of cool stuff. Oh, X30. And he's asking what pickups I would recommend. I would put in that guitar, I would put Super 8s in that guitar. I would put the new Alnico 8 pickups that we just came out with in that guitar. Because it would be a higher output, kind of halfway shreddy kind of thing. But not really shreddy like an EMG, but that's what I would do.
Orion Quest. Does airing a humbucker make sense? Does it have a huge effect on tone? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I've never heard that term before. Yeah, what would that be?
Can you tell us what you mean, Orion?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. You might be using a term that is maybe called something else that I'm not familiar. I'm not sure. I've never heard that before.
Darren West. Hi. I purchased a Player Stratocaster. Should I upgrade the pickups or are the stocks good enough?
If you like them, then leave them alone. If you feel like they don't do something that you want them to do, then look at replacing them. I'm not going to be the person, even though I do this for a living and yeah, I want you to buy my stuff. If you're happy with the guitar right now and then just play it. That being said, personally, I don't like them, but I usually don't like stock pickups. So, that's the thing, I'm putting a new set in. Oh, I took it in. Where is it? Oh, I have one around here. I have a Player Strat too. It's in the living room. And I'm putting new pickups in it probably next week. And we're going to do a video about it and a demo and everything. But yeah, if you like it, then just play it.
Matilda Habardo. Why does a Strat position 2 and 4 sound so clucky?
That's a great question. So there's two reasons for it. Clucky. That's really funny. Honestly, it's the position of the pickup. A lot of people think that it's a phasing thing, but it's actually, they're not out of phase. It is just the position of the pickups in relation to each other and the wiring scheme. So they are in parallel and they are close together, but not all the way together. It's the distance between them and the way they're wired. For example, if you were to change nothing, but wire them in series instead of in parallel, they would sound like a humbucker instead of that, what you called clucky kind of sound. People call it quack. People call it all kinds of things.
What's the difference between a cluck and a quack?
Yeah, that's a good question.
A chicken and a duck?
Yep.
I mean, what else is the difference? Why does duck take preference here?
It's a good question. I mean, because they do sound different. A cluck is different than a quack.
Then why would you describe the same sound as a cluck or a quack?
I wouldn't. She's introducing a new idea to me. I've never heard the term cluck used in this context. So I'm going with, I just want to identify, I don't want to.
You want to identify as a chicken right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that the Strat sounds like a chicken in 2 and 4 because of the position of the pickups in relation to each other and how they're wired. If you swap them around and make them into a humbucker series wiring, it'll sound kind of like a humbucker. It's kind of cool.
Stephen Brosio. I don't know. Sorry about that. What is your recommendation for a second guitar of a player for 1 year? Playing on a Yamaha Pacifica 012 at the moment.
So, Yamaha Pacifica 012. Let me really fast. So, you guys see me look up stuff all the time. And you're like, why doesn't he know any of this stuff? And the reason is because I do not commit things to memory that I don't need when I know I can just Google it. Because I need other things. Okay, so given that price point, there's a couple things you could do. You could get another Strat style guitar, but that seems kind of dumb because you already have one. So what I would do is I would get like a humbucker size style guitar. Now, if you have a couple $100 to spend, something, for example, like a Ibanez AX120, that's in that $200 to $250 range, and if you get a good one, they're pretty good. You guys got to be careful, make sure that the fretwork and stuff is good. Just make sure it plays good before you take it home, or order it from somebody reputable that you could, be picky with, like Sweetwater. Use the link in the description below. That's a good one in that price point. If you want to spend a little bit more, but not insane amounts of money, Epiphone makes a Les Paul Studio. I think it's $499, and that would get you into Les Paul land for a realistic amount of money. And I know it's more than your guitar, but without going nuts, for $500, you could have basically it is a Les Paul. It's an Epiphone, but it isn't a Les Paul, and it's good. So yeah, those are the two things that I would say to get into humbucker land because you already have a single coil. Sweet.
Super chat from Vinny's World. Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny.
For the super chat. So he's elaborating on Orion's question. He's assuming. He said, not sure if this is what the other question was about, but DiMarzio says they put an air gap between the magnet and pole pieces in some of their, quote, air pickups. What does this actually do?
An air gap between the magnet and the pole pieces. Okay. It depends where the air gap is and how they do it. I already assembled them. Okay, so the way a magnet fits on the bottom of a humbucker is like this, right? And there are screws that come down here. So it depends on how they do it. If they just make a gap between the magnet and the bottom of the bobbin, that might not do as much. It's probably to do with adjusting how strong, because it would change the shape of the magnetic field around the pickup.
You want to know what their website says?
Yes.
Full-size humbuckers that contain a gap or space between the magnet and pole pieces. The distance is small, but it may be filled with nothing but air or by some non-magnetic material. The purpose of the gap is to lessen the magnetic field over the pickup, which in turn lets the string vibrate more freely. This results in a purer, more open sound and improved sustain.
Sorry.
The other purpose of the air design is to reliably reproduce the performance of vintage humbuckers, many of which contain magnets weakened by age and mishandling Weakened or aged magnets are inherently unstable and therefore cause unpredictable performance. These use stable, full-strength magnets, yet the magnetic field is the same as produced by a, quote, aged magnet.
Okay. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough at that.
Market speak.
I cannot roll my eyes hard enough. Here's why. If you look at magnets that are 60 years old and measure them, which I have done dozens of times, many times, they do not degrade near, or if at all, unless they are abused, like set next to another huge strong magnet and not a guitar amp speaker. That's a bunch of crap too. They do not degrade like everybody thinks they do. Number one. Number two, this whole pull pieces, pulling on the strings thing is the dumbest thing. And I'll keep talking about it and I will call shenanigans on it every time it comes up because the science just does not support it. Mr. Lanterman could probably give you the formula. I can give you the formula. It's Google. You won't be able to do the math unless you're Aaron Lanterman or somebody super smart. And you might be smart, but I can't do the math because it's like level 3 calculus and I never did that stuff. But there is a formula. You can Google it on Wikipedia, and it is called the magnetic dipole moment. And what it is it's the formula that you get that is if the surface area of the end of the magnet is such, the length of the magnet is such, that then you have a particular strength of magnet on the surface of the magnet per its diameter and its length. And for every thousandth of an inch that you pull it away, it weakens exponentially. Like a 32nd of an inch is like 40% of its strength. And then an eighth of an inch is like 10% of it. I mean, it's like so exponentially. Like by the time you get to 150 thousandths, 2 dimes in a nickel, 3.5 or 5 millimeters, away from the string on a properly set up Stratocaster or PRS Silver Sky, like that one right there, there's no measurable effect. It just doesn't work. The math isn't there. But because also what has to come into play is the amount of mass that you're trying to move with the magnet, i.e. the diameter of the string. Also, sometimes the core of the string, depending on the strings you're using, the core of the string is magnetic and the outside of the string is not. So all of that comes into play and it's a bunch of BS. Everything that was all in there, total BS.
All in there.
And it's not just because I think it's stupid that he has a trademark on cream bobbins, because I actually think that's cool.
Random.
Well, a lot of people get super annoyed by that, but I don't. I think it's cool.
Fretzy.
I could rant about that all day.
Fretzy. I work at a smaller music shop and have started documenting guitar quality control problems when we get them, even though no customers ever saw them. Are the pics still worth sending to your bad QC Gmail?
Dude, they are for sure. That would be awesome. We got in a relatively heated conversation on our Facebook page the other day, and the guy actually ended up blocking me because he'd been trying to, and he's probably watching now. So hi. He was challenging me. He's like, why don't, and he even said something in the comments on one of our live streams, so you'll probably remember. And I don't discredit him for bringing this up, but it just got out of hand. About like PRS finish issues where they've got these like foggy spots and like delaminations and stuff. And he's like, why don't YouTubers ever question that kind of quality control? And I'm like, because I've never seen it before. I've actually seen it on one guitar ever. So I don't have experience with it. Then it got into this whole thing about PRS probably paid you to say that and all this garbage. It's not true, but PRS probably sends you free guitars. No major guitar brand ever has sent me a free guitar. Somnium Guitars is the only guitar brand that has ever sent me a free guitar that I did not run over. So there.
And we met them, and they told
we
me we
met
could
them.
come back because I posted y'all on my Instagram.
They're awesome. Yeah. So, yeah. So like a situation like that, I would love to learn about it, but I just don't have I don't have the extreme enough knowledge. I don't have enough. I mean, I could talk about Gibson pegheads breaking off because I see it legitimately all the time. What's interesting is then that email, very, very few by comparison to the number of guitars sold. You know, if PRS is making 15,000 guitars a month overseas, I think, and however many, you know, 250 guitars a month in Maryland, and a couple have issues, it just doesn't even make sense that it's even a problem. But I would like to see them because I'm always curious.
All right.
Super cool.
Charles Smallwood. What is a good economically priced PAF style pickup?
I don't know. Depends what you call economical. Our DAFs are so good and so true to a proper PAF. And they're $139 each. And I know that doesn't sound cheap, but it's not, and it won't ever be cheap. But they're really good, and they are not throwback money. There's a bunch of brands out there that you're paying like, you know, $400 and $500 and $600 for a pair of pickups to get that proper PAF sound, and I've just decided to not do that, and so that's why they're more reasonable than a bunch of those other people. No custom shop prices around here.
Rick Bonneville says, Dylan, why are you playing with a knife whilst talking about a disagreement?
Because I always play with a knife, and I actually got a new one. This is my new Civivi. I've never had a Civivi before, and carbon fiber scales, which is really cool. And what's weird is, I just learned this. These are actually illegal in California, I think, because it's a gravity knife. And it's got Damascus steel, which is pretty cool. But it's a gravity knife. So there's no springs in it. There's just a button that opens. See it? You could bounce it around. Anyway, it makes it kind of fidgety fun. And that's what
fun.
That's what I need. This is my fidget spinner. Like, you know what I mean? It's my fidget spinner. Because I'm an adult.
Who may have ADHD. Just saying.
So funny.
Sun Terrace. I don't know. 234.
Maybe he makes awnings.
Are you familiar with the circuit in the 2020 Gibson Kirk Douglas signature model SG? 3 humbuckers, coil split. The split humbucker modes sound unusually better than a lot of other split humbuckers.
It's probably just because of the wind. It's probably what they did in those particular
humbuckers.
Probably
not the circuit, right?
No, it's probably the actual pickups themselves, yeah.
That's what your spinner ring is for. You don't have a spinner ring.
I don't have a spinner ring.
It looks like one. I think
does.
That's why.
People think it is, but it doesn't.
Not.
It's not. I do want one. They have those really cool ones with the gears in them, but they're really expensive and it just doesn't make sense. But a knife doesn't either. But.
Albert Siva says, Jim Lill made that video about a guitar made from a table, but I saw Dylan's video made years ago where he made a guitar attached to his backyard fence.
That's right, man. That's right.
That was a
that
classic.
Video was great.
Jim Woodard said his son just bought the same knife.
Oh, really? I really like it. It's neat. It's light. It's like 3.5 ounces or something. It's kind of cool. Yep.
The playing with the knife was funny though.
It was.
All right. Okay, I'm caught up now.
Awesome.
No, No. I'm caught up with grabbing
Oh.
questions.
So we still have a bunch. Cool.
Darren West,
I like
what
it.
is your opinion of stacked humbucker pickups for Stratocasters, such as the Seymour Duncan Little 59?
I don't like them. This is something me and Tim McNally were just talking about today. Uh, I said, I don't do any kind of stacked single coils. If you want a single coil, get a single coil. If you want a humbucker, get a humbucker. And he's like, can we argue about that? And I don't want to give up the content too much, but yeah, we argued about that. Because he thinks the opposite of me. Which is why there's both of us.
Mr. Goat, the bass back there, the pickup location. What would your slant six sound like there as opposed to middle or closer to the neck?
I think it's better to be in the middle with that particular pickup. I'm going to make some changes to that pickup. I've been talking to Ivan, actually, from Van Shank Guitars about it. Because he used it with another pickup, and it didn't really work very well. And so, since he's in Canada, I was like, well, I'll rewind it for you. You know, like, we can do something different. But he's like, no, what if because he has a bunch of pickup parts. And I said, well, what I would do is I would swap the magnet out for this. So we might change that pickup. We might actually change that pickup to an Alnico 8 and go a little stronger. We might actually take the Super 8 wind and make it into the Slant 6 bass pickup. There's going to be a revision to that pickup coming soon because I didn't anticipate the way some people would want to use it, and so I'm going to adjust for that. Yep.
Charles Wallace says the fence post telly was the best. That is what made him start wanting a telly.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny.
All right. Matilda Habardo, have you tried the Texas Special Telecaster pickups? If so, do you like them?
They're too hot for me. I like a much lower output. Anything that we do is much lower output. I'm not a fan of a really hotly wound coil like that. But a lot of people really like them because they sound very compressed. So I can see why people do like them.
Fat Philosopher Ola England released a sustained shootout video between a neck-through Solar versus a bolt-on Solar. I don't know. Mm-hmm. The bolt-on won. Is that a surprising result?
No. It's not a surprising result at all. Not at all. Because, the thing with a lot of these tests is the differences are so subtle. And I think one of the things that people don't think about when overthinking this stuff is that what is the margin of error in most everything? 3%? Like if you just randomly Google any kind of test, unless it's like for the space shuttle or for an airplane or something where people could die, 3 to 5% is pretty, within that. You could be within that and be fine. And 99% of this guitar stuff that people argue about 99% of the time is way within 1%. But people still argue about it. Yeah.
Got a super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat.
Old school dude right there. He's been with us from the very beginning, Sassy Cat.
Thoughts on the Fender Hot Wheels collection?
Okay, so I didn't know about the Fender Hot Wheels collection yet because nobody was supposed to know about it. Well, I did know about it.
But you couldn't say you know about it?
Yes. But I heard it from a guy. And it wasn't public yet.
And it's public now?
It must be. So, but I didn't know it in time to put it in.
Do you have thoughts?
I haven't seen it. So I knew it existed because that's the theme of their like wacky custom shop thing. Because, Baxter goes to that and participates in that. So, but I haven't seen it. Don't know about it. I want to look at it. We'll probably put it in the news next week. Yep.
And another one.
Thanks, Jim.
Super chat from Jim Woodard. Thank you for the super chat. For the fun of it, I don't get here live as often as I would like. Enjoy the tank and a half of gas on me.
Tank and a half? Oh, yeah.
Maybe a gallon and a half.
A gallon and a half of gas? I don't know. It's not that bad here. I'm purposely not talking about gas prices.
Oh, and Charles said you gave him a pickup and he had to buy one. You gave him a telly pickup before he had a telly.
I did.
That's funny. Rick Bonneville, Dylan, can I pay in Canadian funds? LOL. I don't know if that's a legit question. About
if you're trying to use a super chat, yeah, it'll give us metric money.
Yep.
And it'll buy like a whole gallon of gas in the United States and like a third of a gallon of gas in Canada. So don't feel obligated.
Yeah. Jeffrey Monroe, do you have any favorite trim setter options?
No, because I don't use that stuff. In fact, that's on my video list for my Silver Sky. I want to float the tremolo. I don't lock anything. I actually don't like a flat tremolo. Like John Mayer likes a flat tremolo where it's flat and it's locked against the body. I can't stand that. It drives me nuts. In fact, this guitar, that is the one thing that drives me nuts because I try to use it and it like clicks against the body. It drives me crazy. So I actually float it just a little bit. I haven't done it yet.
Matilda Habardo, do you think it would sound cool to have all three pickups on at the same time in a Strat?
It would, and it does. And the way you do it is you add a little switch. It's called the Gilmore mod because David Gilmour does it. To turn the neck pickup on all the time. You flip the switch, and the neck pickup is on all the time, and it gives you 7 sounds instead of 5.
Brian Montfort says, wait, you make bass pickups too? With the little big eye emoji.
I don't make these ones yet. This is still in process, but that's why we have this guitar, because we're working on it.
Design. Sun Terrace 234, suggestions for good JM shaped pickup replacement. Looking for a thicker sound, humbucker or P90 in a JM shape. What's JM?
Jazzmaster.
Oh.
Humbucker or P90 in a Jazzmaster shape, Tim McNally. McNally pickups.
That was easy. It's like you just talked to him today.
Well, that was the thing. He's like, well, what do you do if somebody calls and wants something you don't make? I'm like, I say, call Tim McNally. He laughed. I was like, because he makes all this wacky stuff that I don't make.
Brian Montfort said, oh, hells. I think I just found the pickups for that bass I'll be making. Slant 6 for bass. Pair.
Yeah, man. Yep. If you order those, you're going to get the new version, not the old version.
Jim Woodard said he meant a gallon and a half. He drives an Audi diesel.
Oh. Yeah. I drive a hybrid. Well, my van gets like 15 miles to the gallon, but my Honda gets like 40. So, yep. That's awesome.
So Jeffrey Monroe was referring to a trim setter that always returns your trim to 0. He doesn't lock his trim either.
No, I just float it, man. I just float it and I make sure that the nut is good and I don't have a problem. I like it like that. Like, I'll tell you what I do is Jeff Beck. That Jeff Beck warble thing is my favorite. And the method that we use, a lot of people accuse me of stealing it from a guy named Frudua from Italy. Because it is the same way. It's the same thing he does. I did not hear it from him. I actually heard it from a guy like at the beginning of YouTube, like in the very beginning of YouTube.
How do you steal something if you're not profiting off of
everybody thinks that I'm like plagiarizing this guy's video and calling it my own, but because I do. I use Post-it notes and I use, I do that thing where I do the thing. Frudua does the same thing. And he's really good and he's, been around a long time. His videos are really old. But I got it from some guy literally holding a cell phone and like all over the place like a kid is doing it, like when a kid is trying to FaceTime and like all you see is this ceiling. And he has a Floyd Rose guitar on his coffee table, and he's like trying to show you how to float, to level a Floyd Rose. And I saw that video, and I was like, oh, that's the same way you could probably, let me try to do a Strat like that. And so that's why I did a Strat like that. And then one of my buddies told me about Fruitua, and I was like, oh, apparently I'm doing it the exact same way he's doing it. So everybody thinks I stole it from him, but I didn't. But yeah, just float it. Make sure your nut is good. The end. Jeff Beck.
What? Jim Woodard said, I got the new VW electric microbus on order. Should have it in 2024. Fingers crossed.
Dude, that's so cool. We just watched the Doug
That's going from one extreme to the other, like a diesel right now and going to electric.
I get it though. We
That's
just
really
watched
neat.
the Doug DeMuro video about that last night. That's so cool. Yeah.
I'm all caught up for real now.
Okay. If I lived in a place where we could plug a car in, I would probably have an electric car now. I probably would. I would have one if it was a second vehicle. Like, I don't think I could have it for my only vehicle, but for a second vehicle for running around and stuff, I would totally have an electric car now. Because having this hybrid, I'm like so in. Like when Priuses first came out, they were the dumbest thing ever. They were super slow, super dumb, like couldn't handle, super heavy. But this Accord is just, it is worlds better, and I really like it. And I like the way electric power is delivered to the wheels. Like it's just 250 foot-pounds off the jump. It's awesome. I really like it. So
cool.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Oh man, you know what I didn't do?
Nope.
I didn't make a thumbnail for the other video, for the other channel. Because
Because
we were going to go double live tonight.
Yeah, I just figured you weren't. Oh, you have a super chat.
I completely,
you can't stop anyway.
completely forgot about it.
Well, then we can't do it now.
Okay, we'll do it next week.
Matthew Perkins, thank you for the super chat. On the topic of the next guitar, I'm thinking about trading in a few I don't play often at Guitar Center towards one of their exclusive Les Pauls.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, and especially right now, you could probably get better money for stuff than you normally could. That's really cool. I want a Les Paul. I almost bought a Les Paul when I bought my Silver Sky. It was like down to that. I was either going to buy a gold top Les Paul or a Silver Sky. And the only reason I bought the Silver Sky is because they had just announced the SE. And I was like, I've always wanted a Silver Sky anyway. And now I'll have both because I knew I was going to end up getting an SE for product development purposes. And, and the other thing Tim McNally told me today is that I don't, because I haven't taken this guitar back apart. Those pickups will fit in there.
Oh.
So we don't have to worry about anything wacky.
Well, that's good to know.
And our prototype pick guards for loaded pick guards for Silver Skies get here Monday. Sweet. Yes. Very excited about that.
All right. Last question, then we'll go.
Okay.
Matilda Habardo, do you have any other Strat wiring mod suggestions? Thanks for telling me about the Gilmore mod.
I don't. Well, there's a couple. Look at Bridge Tone mod. It's just one little tiny wire jumper that you put in, and then it makes it to where this tone knob, this bottom one, adjusts the bridge, and then this tone knob adjusts the neck in the middle. But that's not a Strat at all. It doesn't even look like a Strat. Anyway. Oh, and another super chat.
Another super chat. Sun Terrace 234. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank everybody for hanging out. Please do me a favor and go in that link down below and go subscribe to that other channel because we have some really cool stuff. I am so excited about this. I'm going to change the shirt too because it says I'm just going to say it, but it's just going to say it because that's the name of the podcast. And I did it in these colors since this shirt already existed. So that's why the branding for that looks different. And I'm really stoked about it. I'm having a lot of fun making it. I hope you guys like it. the goal behind that podcast is, and I put it in the tagline underneath, this is a guitar podcast for regular people. And what I'm trying to do is to make the people that I talk to regular to everybody else. So even though these people are super guitar nerds, you know, Tim McNally makes pickups for a living. We had the cable guy. We had
The cable guy.
not that cable guy. That would be cool.
Poor
Though.
Austin.
That would be cool though. Yeah, Austin from Runway. I want to. All these guys are known. All these people, guys and gals, are known for their website or their YouTube channel or their product, but nobody ever really gets to know them. Like, how they get started, what inspires them to make what they make. Like, they don't ever get time to talk about that. Tim McNally does not do interviews. He told me that. He's like, I don't do this stuff. He doesn't do YouTube.
So why do you agree to it?
Because I pestered him for about 5 years.
Oh.
And I was like,
so it's like an exclusive.
I was like, Tim, he has not done one of these in years.
Sweet.
And he messaged me and he's like, I don't think you realize I hate doing this stuff, and I am very nervous to be like on camera. And he was amazing, so much fun. But that's what I'm talking about, that realness. Like, you order his product and you put it in your guitar, but nobody gets to know him, you know, or any of these people. So that's what I'm trying to do with this stuff, and get me too, because like everybody thinks I'm such a guitar nerd, and I'm not really. I just like this stuff. I think it's cool. So
just a nerd about
lots of things,
not just guitars.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I'm really stoked about it. So I'm glad that we're able to do it now. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. This is awesome. We will see you on Monday, unless we have some surprise content come out.